Have you ever wondered what Bitcoin mining is? Have you thought of it being mined the same way gold and silver are mined? Do not worry, as you are not alone in this thought. I used to have a similar thought in the past about Bitcoin mining, until after a thorough research about the subject. Keep watching for a more in-depth explanation of Bitcoin mining and other related topics. Bitcoin mining refers to the process of digitally adding transaction records to the blockchain, which is a publicly distributed ledger that holds the history of every Bitcoin transaction. Mining is a process of keeping records that is executed through immense computing power. Each Bitcoin miner around the world contributes to a decentralized peer-to-peer network to ensure the payment network is trustworthy and secure. Bitcoin mining is performed by high-powered computers that solve complex computational math problems. These problems are complex that they cannot be solved manually and are complicated enough to task even incredibly powerful computers. Bitcoin mining outcome can be twofold. First, when computers solve these complex math problems on the Bitcoin network, new Bitcoin is produced. And second, by solving computational math problems. Bitcoin miners make the Bitcoin payment network trustworthy and secure by verifying its transaction information. Summary: Bitcoin mining involves powerful computers solving complex mathematical problems of the Bitcoin algorithm. Solving these problems helps keep the blockchain ledger and network secure and trustworthy. All Bitcoin miners contribute to this process. The miner who successfully solves a mathematical problem is awarded Bitcoin. Miners have become very sophisticated in the last few years, using complex machinery to speed up mining operations. Basics of Bitcoin mining. There are 3 ways to acquire Bitcoin. Mine new Bitcoin. Receive them in exchange for goods and services. Purchase them on an exchange. The process of discovering new Bitcoin is described as mining because it resembles the process of mining for any other resources like gold and silver. With gold mining, miners search and dig through the earth in hopes of striking gold. With Bitcoin, miners attempt to find Bitcoin through solving complex mathematical problems. Blockchain is the technology that cryptocurrency is built on. It is a ledger that is publicly distributed and records every Bitcoin transaction. It is literally a digital chain of blocks. Each block contains a group of Bitcoin transaction information. Miners add to the blockchain by using computer processing power to solve complex mathematical problems. Solving the problems will result in the block being successfully added to the chain. The miner who correctly solves the problem is awarded Bitcoin. The above forms the basis of the complex process of Bitcoin mining. It helps keep the payment network secure and trustworthy. The network is built on a peer-to-peer network, meaning that every single miner across the globe is contributing their computing power to maintain the network, confirm its transactions, and keep them secure. When Bitcoin is sent by someone anywhere, it's called a transaction. Transactions are made in store or online, point-of-sale systems, and physical receipts. This is achieved by the miner by clumping transactions together in blocks and add them to a public records called blockchain. Nodes then maintain records of those blocks so that they can be verified into the future. History of Bitcoin mining. With scaling difficult levels, between 1 in 16 trillion odds, and the massive network of users verifying transactions, 1 block of transactions is verified in every 10 minutes. As of August 2020, Bitcoin network is currently processing just under 4 transactions per second, and transactions being logged in the blockchain every 10 minutes. With the rate of growth of the network of Bitcoin users, the number of transactions made in 10 minutes will consequently exceed the number of transactions that are allowed to be processed in 10 minutes. At this point, waiting times for transactions might go up and continue to get worse, unless something is done about it in Bitcoin protocol. In July 2017, Bitcoin miners and mining companies representing roughly 80% to 90% of the network's computing power voted and agreed to incorporate a program that would decrease the amount of data needed to verify each block. The program that the miners came up with to be added to Bitcoin protocol is called a segregated witness, or SegWit. This term is an amalgamation of segregated, which means to separate, and witness, which means signatures on a Bitcoin transaction. Sometime in August 2017, a group of miners and developers left the Bitcoin network to create a new currency using the same code base as Bitcoin. This group, however, agreed on the need for a solution to scaling, but were skeptical that adopting segregated witness technology might not fully address the scaling problem. Then came the birth of a currency, called Bitcoin Cash. This allows an accelerated verification process of about 2 million transactions per day. On August 16, 2020, Bitcoin Cash was valued at about $302 with Bitcoin roughly $11,800. The idea of Bitcoin mining pools arose to tackle the issue of rising mining difficulty, with a group of miners coming together to mine Bitcoin collectively. If the miners solve a block, they will be allocated Bitcoin. Here is a Bitcoin mining analogy, to further break down how it works. Say for instance, I tell 5 friends that I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 50. And I wrote the number and kept it in a sealed envelope. My friends don't have to guess the exact number. They only have to be the person or persons that first guess any number that is less than or equal to the number I wrote down or have in mind, without necessarily guessing the exact number I have in mind. It does not matter how many guesses they make. If the number I have in mind is 23. If friend A guessed 33, friend B guessed 24, friend C guessed 18. Friend D guessed 11, and friend E guessed 48. For friends C, D, they've both theoretically arrived at viable answers. Although this analogy is between a few friends, but in reality it would involve millions of would-be miners, and the numbers that I would be thinking of would be a 64-digit hexadecimal number. You would agree with me that it would be hard to guess correctly. This is essentially a guesswork, and Bitcoin miners have to come up with the right hash as quickly as possible, which is largely dependent on how fast their computers can produce hashes. At about a decade ago, Bitcoin mining can be done entirely on normal desktop computers. However, miners found out that the graphic cards used for video games were more effective and have been using same since then. 2013 witnessed the use, by Bitcoin miners, of computers, specially designed for mining cryptocurrency. This is called Application-Specific Integrated Circuits, ASIC. Although, this is considered to be expensive as it runs into several thousands of dollars, but it's efficiently good for mining Bitcoin. Today, Bitcoin mining is so competitive that it can only be done profitably with the most up-to-date ASICs. For miners to be profitable mining Bitcoin, they have to use the up-to-date ASICs. The following are the requirements to begin mining Bitcoin. To begin mining Bitcoin, the following are required: competitive mining computers, rigs, low-cost power supply, mining software, mining pool membership. Please be sure to like and subscribe to Finance Update channel for more valuable and educating videos like this.